The March of Time. Today, almost 2 years after the last great battles of World War II, American troops are still heading overseas as occupation forces for conquered Germany. But of America's aims in Germany, aims which may profoundly affect the future of the world, few of these soldier ambassadors of the United States have any very clear idea.
You know how much money we're spending on Germany? I read the other day it costs us $200 million a year.
Don't worry, we'll get it all back. They say with a few cartons of cigarettes to start with, you get rich over there in no time.
Yeah, and with just a few packs of cigarettes, you can pick up any fur line in Germany.
Okay. But how do you like us spending all that dough on a lot of krauts? The same krauts that were shooting at us a couple of years ago.
In dealing with a broken and prostrate Germany, the post-war policy of the United States seeks neither vengeance nor enrichment, but to rebuild an economic entity on which the peace and prosperity of Europe in great measure depends. Today, Hitler's erstwhile master race is living abjectly, without initiative, without dignity, its grandiose aspirations reduced to an endless struggle for mere existence, for enough fuel to keep from freezing, for enough food to keep from starving. But while the great masses of Germany's 66 million people are paying bitterly for their day of glory under their beloved Führer, there are other Germans living as well as ever. Though prices in Germany's stores have spiraled dizzily, many are able to pay them. Those who have grown rich through dealings in the black market, as well as party members and hangers-on who fattened under the Nazi regime. The shrewder of these kept their assets in cash and their heads above water in the catastrophe that engulfed their countrymen. Living quietly but well in out-of-the-way places are the families of Nazi ringleaders, still holding something of the fortunes they enjoyed under Hitler. Contributing nothing to the German economy, this class finds ways to secure more than its rightful share of food through black marketeers, who are themselves fast becoming richer than their clients. Confident of the power of their money to restore their social prestige, former Hitlerites seek distraction in amusement places where the pomp and glamour of Nazi days is conspicuously lacking, but where they can still bet on the wrong horse. Opportunities to enjoy life are equally plentiful for any German girl who is willing to fraternize with American soldiers. Despite public resentment of such fraternization, thousands of Fräuleins have been quick to make the most of their chances to better their lot by consorting with GIs who can pay for their company with both entertainment and food. In Berlin, a Joint Allied Control Commission is trying to bring some order out of the German confusion. As members of this board, representatives of the 4 nations occupying Germany meet regularly in an attempt to reconcile their conflicting political and economic policies. But because these policies are born of differing national aims, scant coordination has been achieved. This inability to arrive at a unified approach to the problem of German rehabilitation led to a forthright statement of U.S. policy by then Secretary of State James F. Burns.
The United States is firmly of the belief that Germany should be administered as an economic unit and that zonal barriers should be completely obliterated so far as the economic life and activity in Germany are concerned.
After the war, Germany was split up into 4 zones, each separated from the others by political and economic barriers. Almost immediately, Russia drew a curtain of secrecy between the other zones and her own. Behind this curtain, the Red Army began ruling eastern Germany in a way to leave no doubt as to who lost the war. As conquerors, the Russians are treating the Germans with the calculated severity due an enemy people. The inhabitants of the Russian zone are deprived of contact with the democratic world of Western Europe, for Russian plans envision a new Germany reorganized and disciplined to close and useful cooperation with the Kremlin. The policy of the Russian military government is to get as much out of the occupied country as possible, to confiscate as reparations what is useful and movable, to buy up control of whatever must be left behind, and to make the economy of the territory conform to the Russian system. Large private estates have been broken up into small farms. On these, thousands of Germans have gone to work producing food for themselves and for the Russians. Billions of dollars worth of industrial equipment has been dismantled and moved piecemeal to Russia to help compensate for Russian industries destroyed by the Germans. Hundreds of millions of dollars more in reparations have come from consumer goods industries the Russians left intact, such as the famed Dresden China Works. Employing Nazis and non-Nazis alike, the Russians have been more successful in restoring production in the industries remaining than the government of any of the other zones. From the French zone, which, except for the industrial Tsar land, contains little of economic value to the rest of Germany, has come a more frank and open opposition to the Potsdam policy of economic unification. For the French are determined to do everything possible to keep Germany forever incapable of further aggression. In the opinion of the French government, all Germans share equally in the war guilt. Strict treatment of the Germans reflects the well-founded distrust the French feel for a nation which invaded France 3 times in 70 years. Only the guarantee of a European settlement, backed by all the force of the Western world, is likely to relax French vigilance.